So this question is very interesting actually, because there is a huge part of our healing journey that happens in relation and in community. However, for us to become a frequency match for the type of people in the community that we desire in our lives, it really does require a certain space alone in solitude, so we can really go deep within ourselves and do the reflective work so we can alchemize and transmute. And then what happens through this process is, as we evolve and ascend through this internal reflection work and shifting the way in which we think and perceive things and approach things, and ultimately the way in which we choose to be, what happens is the universe presents us with various different people that will test us to see if we want to stay in that old vibration, or if we put boundaries up and say no and distance ourselves from that in the reclamation of our personal power, so we raise up the level of frequency. Now, through my personal journey, I was in and out of these types of relational situations for about 3 years of my deconditioning process. And it took me about 3 years of this process for me to actually find a community and sisterhoods and brotherhoods that were really in alignment to really support my healing journey even further within community. So there is an essence to this question that's like, yes, we do require community to support us, and also no, there's a part of the journey that we really get to move and groove on our own, so we start to build a really strong and sure relationship with ourselves and come to clarity of, okay, what is it that I want, need and require out of relationships? And yes, that will require a certain amount of going in and out of relationships to be like, oh no, I don't want that, no, I don't like that, okay, well what do I want, what do I like, where is that coming from? And setting those boundaries and all of that good stuff. And when we do that, and then when we become a frequency match for the community it is that we desire, then ultimately that ripples, and yes, it creates a better society. But first it starts with ourselves. Yeah, first it starts with number one, and looking in the mirror and becoming fully clear on what it is we want, need and require, and also taking full ownership and accountability for the parts that we're playing where we are the ones that are unhealthy, where we are the ones that are toxic. Because unless we hold our hands up and say, oh yeah, I wasn't that great there, oh yeah, I shouldn't have communicated that way, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that, oh I shouldn't have been this way, unless we hold our hands up to our own bullshit and our own toxicity and our own unhealthy way of being and doing, then we're not going to be able to move forward, because we're lying to ourselves. So we really must stop lying to ourselves, and when we stop doing that, then life starts to expand and get better. Okay. There is also an essence to this as well, that when we put ourselves in communities of the types of people that we desire to be like and the types of success that we're looking to achieve, that's what supports us calibrate to a higher level as well. And that's not to say that old parts of ourselves are not going to come up in these situations, but it will activate it, come up quicker, so we can then do the work required to calibrate at a much faster level. So if you are to think about, for instance, fruit, yeah? You have a piece of moldy fruit, you put a piece of fresh fruit next to the moldy fruit, that fresh fruit is going to get moldier much faster. Now, if you flip this around, not thinking about fruit, but the same applies for people, right? So if you put a good energy, positive person around a load of negative people, eventually that's going to affect that person. And then you flip that around, if you put someone who is starting their self-awareness, their spiritual and their healing and their growth journey, if you put them in a space of expanders and people that are doing the things and people that are healing and that are supportive, then naturally they're going to grow much faster. So yes, there definitely is an essence of that healing within community there, but a lot of the healing, it really starts from self and leading ourselves towards that and taking full ownership and accountability, because a lot of us are moving away from codependent relationships and codependent situations. And if you are to place yourself, for instance, within a community and start relying on peers and mentors to hold your hand and keep you motivated to keep going, that's still a codependent situation that is transferring over but towards higher vibrational frequency people. And the idea is to let go of these codependent tendencies. So yes, putting yourself in communities like that is very key to support the healing journey. However, what's very, very important is that we learn radical independence, is that we learn how to move and groove through this on our own, so then we can create interdependence within relations and communities rather than codependence.